My sister took the folio envelope from my hands, slid out the deed, read the property address, and then she laughed. Not a polite chuckle, but a full-throated laugh that echoed through the wedding venue's sound system, because she was still holding the microphone from her thank you speech. Eve, seriously? 1247 Riverside Drive? That's not even the good part of town. I'm not living in some starter condo neighborhood when I have a brand to maintain, she announced to 180 wedding guests while I stood there holding a bottle of champagne I'd brought to celebrate her reaction. The question wasn't whether I'd just been humiliated in front of her entire social circle. The question was whether my sister understood that I'd been funding her entire lifestyle for the past 4 years and I'd just decided to stop. Drop a comment and let me know where you're listening from and what time it is for you right now. I'd love to know who's part of our community. My name is Eve Salazar. I'm 36 years old, and I'm a corporate litigator at a firm in Denver that defends Fortune 500 companies in billion-dollar lawsuits. My job is to find weaknesses in opposing arguments, to stay calm under pressure, and to dismantle emotional manipulation with facts. I bill 2,400 hours a year at $650 an hour. I live in a minimalist high-rise, drive a 6-year-old Lexus, and I've never taken a vacation longer than 4 days. My sister, Brooklyn, is 29. She's a lifestyle influencer with 143,000 Instagram followers who posts about wellness, sustainable fashion, and living authentically. Her job, as far as I can tell, is to make expensive things look effortless while someone else pays for them. That someone has been me for 4 years. It started small. Eve, my car broke down and I need $1,200 for repairs. Then it was rent. My roommate bailed and I can't cover her half. Can you loan me $2,800 until I find someone new? Loan. She always said loan. She never paid me back. Then it became a pattern. Rent. $3,200 a month for a trendy apartment in Lodo that she needed for her content creation. I set up an automatic transfer. Car payment. $580 a month for a white Tesla Model 3 because I can't promote sustainability while driving a gas car. Business expenses. $400 to $1,500 monthly for photography, clothing, wellness retreats that were essential for authentic content. Over 4 years, I'd paid $187,000 to fund Brooklyn's influencer lifestyle. I tracked it in a spreadsheet. I'm a litigator. I document everything. I never asked her to pay me back. She was my little sister. She was building her brand. Our parents had retired to Florida on a fixed income. I was successful. I could afford it. And maybe, if I'm honest, I was buying something. Approval. Connection. A relationship with a sister who'd always been the fun one, the creative one, the one everyone liked, while I was the serious one, the boring one, the one who worked too much. 6 months ago, Brooklyn got engaged. His name is Tristan. He's a personal trainer with good hair and an investment portfolio I'm fairly certain doesn't exist. They'd been dating for 14 months. Brooklyn called me the day after the proposal. Eve, I'm engaged. I need to tell you everything. She talked for 40 minutes about the proposal, the ring, which she described as modest but meaningful. Translation, smaller than she wanted, and her vision for the wedding. I'm thinking garden ceremony, vintage romantic, like an English countryside estate. I found the perfect venue, but it's $28,000 just for the space. Brooklyn, what's your budget? Well, Tristan's family is contributing $8,000. And Mom and Dad want to help, but you know they're on that fixed income. I knew where this was going. How much do you need? If you could maybe help with the venue and some of the vendors. I made a spreadsheet. She sent it to me. Total wedding budget, $89,000. Her request from me, $64,000. Venue, $28,000. Photographer, $6,500. Catering, $22,000. Flowers, $8,000. I looked at the numbers. I looked at my own spreadsheet showing $187,000 already spent. And I thought about the last time Brooklyn had asked me about my life. I couldn't remember. But I said yes. Because she was my sister. Because it was her wedding. Because I'd already invested so much in our relationship that walking away felt like admitting those 4 years had been wasted. I paid the deposits. I paid the vendors. I reviewed the contracts because that's what I do. 3 weeks before the wedding, I had an idea. Brooklyn and Tristan were going to need a place to live after the wedding. They'd been talking about moving in together, looking at rentals. I decided to buy them a condo. Not as a gift exactly, but as an investment property that they could live in. I'd hold the deed, they'd live there rent-free, and eventually I'd transfer ownership to Brooklyn when she was more financially stable. I found a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo in Riverside, a solid middle-class neighborhood, safe, near good schools, close to gyms and parks where Tristan could train clients. The condo was $420,000. I paid cash. I was going to let them live there indefinitely, rent-free, until they were stable enough to take over. But I wanted to surprise Brooklyn at the wedding. I had the deed printed in a nice folio with a card. To Brooklyn and Tristan, your first home together. Love, Eve. The wedding was yesterday. Garden ceremony, exactly as Brooklyn had envisioned. She looked beautiful. I sat in the 3rd row, family but not close family. Not wedding party. The reception was at a restored barn. String lights. Long wooden tables. Everything was Instagram perfect. During the reception, Brooklyn did a thank you speech. She thanked Tristan's parents for their generous contribution. She thanked our parents for their endless love and support. She thanked her bridesmaids for being her rocks. She didn't mention me. I sat there with a glass of wine, watching my sister thank everyone except the person who'd paid for 72% of her wedding. After her speech, I walked up to the head table. I had the folio with me. I'd been planning to give it to her privately, but something about being publicly erased made me want to be publicly acknowledged. Brooklyn, I have a gift for you. She looked up, surprised. The microphone was still in her hand from the speech. Oh, Eve. I'm sorry, I should have. Don't worry about it. Here. I handed her the folio. She opened it. She pulled out the deed. She read the address. And then she laughed. It wasn't a small laugh. It was loud, amplified by the microphone she was still holding. Eve, seriously? 1247 Riverside Drive? That's not even the good part of town. She looked at Tristan. Babe, she got us a condo in Riverside. Like where the Target is. Tristan looked uncomfortable. Brooklyn. I mean, it's sweet, but we're not living there. I need to be in Lodo or Low-High for content. My followers expect a certain aesthetic. Riverside is like suburban mom energy. No offense, Eve. 180 people were watching. Some were laughing with her. Most looked uncomfortable. I stood there. I didn't flinch. I didn't cry. I just smiled. It's the smile I use in court right before I destroy a witness's credibility. No offense taken, I said quietly. I took the deed back from her hands. You're absolutely right. This isn't your aesthetic. I walked back to my table. I sat down. I pulled out my phone. I opened my banking app. I found the automatic transfer to Brooklyn's rent. $3,200 monthly. I clicked cancel. I found the car payment. $580 monthly. Clicked cancel. Then I opened my email. I sent a message to every vendor I'd paid for the wedding. Subject, payment dispute. I am writing to notify you that all payments made by Eve Salazar for the Brooklyn Salazar/Tristan Marks wedding are being disputed due to breach of agreement. Please direct all future billing to Brooklyn Salazar or Tristan Marks directly. I will not be covering any outstanding balances. I didn't send it yet. I just drafted it. I wanted to think. Brooklyn was back to her reception, laughing with friends, posing for photos. She'd already forgotten the moment. Just an awkward gift from her boring sister, who didn't understand her brand. I looked at the deed in my hands. $420,000. Paid in cash. For a condo she'd mocked in front of 180 people, because it wasn't trendy enough. I made a decision. I left the reception. I drove to my office. It was 9:30 p.m. on a Saturday, but I had key card access. I pulled up the deed. I called my real estate attorney. She owed me a favor from a case I'd helped her with. Margaret, I need a favor. I need to list a property for sale. Immediately. Eve, it's Saturday night. I know. Can you help me or not? The condo went on the market Sunday morning. By Monday afternoon, I had an offer. $430,000, $10,000 over what I'd paid. The buyers were a young couple, both teachers, who'd been praying for something in their budget. I accepted the offer. The sale closed in 3 weeks. In that time, Brooklyn called me twice. Both times about money. Eve, I know you're busy, but the rent is due and the automatic payment didn't go through. I canceled it. What? Why? Because you made it clear at your wedding that my contributions aren't valuable to you. So I'm discontinuing them. Eve, that's not. I was just joking. I'm not. The payments are canceled. You'll need to cover your own rent going forward. She called our mother. Our mother called me. Eve, honey, Brooklyn is really upset. She said you're cutting her off financially. I'm stopping financial support, yes. But she needs that money. She can't afford her apartment without you. Then she should move somewhere she can afford. Perhaps Riverside. I hear there's a nice 2-bedroom condo available. You're being vindictive. I'm being clear. Brooklyn mocked a $420,000 gift in front of 180 people because it didn't fit her aesthetic. I'm simply acknowledging that I don't fit her aesthetic either. So I'm removing myself from the equation. I hung up. The condo sold. I made $10,000 profit. I donated it to a housing nonprofit that helps first-time homebuyers. Brooklyn's rent came due. She couldn't pay it. She called Tristan's parents. They said no. She called our parents. They couldn't afford it. She moved out of the Lodo apartment. She and Tristan moved into his studio apartment in Aurora, the kind of neighborhood she'd definitely classify as not on brand. Her Instagram posts became less frequent. The aesthetic suffered when you're shooting content in a 600-square-foot studio instead of an airy loft. She called me 6 weeks after the wedding. Eve, can we talk? We are talking. I mean in person. Can we meet for coffee? Why? Because I want to apologize. We met at a Starbucks. She looked tired. Less polished. More real. I was horrible to you at my wedding, she said. The condo thing, I didn't know you'd bought it. I thought you'd just found a listing or something. I didn't realize you'd paid cash for a whole condo for us. I paid cash for a condo you rejected because it wasn't trendy enough for your content. I know. And I'm sorry. I've been so focused on my brand, on my image, that I forgot about the person who's been supporting me this whole time. Supporting is one word for it. Funding is more accurate. She flinched. How much have I cost you? I'd brought the spreadsheet. Of course I'd brought the spreadsheet. I slid it across the table. She looked at it. Her face went white. $187,000? Plus $64,000 for the wedding. Total, $251,000 over 4 years. Oh my God, you never paid back a single dollar. You called them loans, but they were gifts. Gifts you never acknowledged. Eve, I didn't know. You didn't want to know. It was easier to just take the money and assume I was fine with it. She started crying. What can I do? How can I make this right? You can pay your own bills. You can build your brand on your own dime. You can figure out how to be an adult without using me as a bank. I don't want to lose you as my sister. Then treat me like one. Not like an ATM. That was 2 months ago. Brooklyn and Tristan are still in the studio. She got a part-time job at a boutique. Her Instagram posts are less frequent, but more honest. She's actually talking about financial struggles, about downsizing, about learning to live within her means. Her engagement is better. Ironically, being real is more relatable than being aspirational. She paid me $500 last week. A check with a note. First payment. I know it's a fraction of what I owe you, but I wanted you to know I'm serious about paying you back. I deposited the check. Not because I need the money, but because she needs to pay it. I'm in my office now. High-rise view. City lights below. Coffee's hot. The deed to that condo is sold. The couple who bought it sent me a thank you note. They'd been renting for 10 years, saving every penny, and this was their dream home. They sent me a picture. They're standing in front of 1247 Riverside Drive, holding their keys, beaming. The wife's note said, "Thank you for selling to us. This neighborhood may not be trendy, but it's perfect for us. Perfect for them. Not perfect for Brooklyn's brand. But Brooklyn's brand was built on my money. And I'm not paying for it anymore." My sister laughed at a $420,000 gift because it wasn't Instagram worthy. I smiled, because I knew something she didn't. The gift was never the condo. The gift was the choice. And I chose to stop being her bank. The ledger is balanced. The automatic payments are canceled. The sister who laughed at Riverside Drive is now living in Aurora. And the sister who smiled? She's sitting in a corner office, drinking hot coffee, $251,000 poorer, but infinitely richer in self-respect. The wedding was beautiful. The divorce from financial codependency was even better.